let's talk about that sinking feeling in a relationship. That moment of clarity when you take a step back, look at everything you're putting in, and the thought hits you, wait, am I the only one trying here? It's a huge moment, and today we're going to unpack what it really means.
So let's set the scene. It usually doesn't happen overnight. It kind of creeps in. But then the feeling grows until you realize you feel less like a partner and more like you're managing a project. You're the one handling all the plans, all the emotional heavy lifting, all of it.
I mean, seriously, does this hit a little too close to home for anyone? It just perfectly captures that feeling of being stretched so thin while your partner is like on a permanent vacation from any real responsibility. You're out here wearing three different hats, and they're just chilling. Which leads us to this really blunt but absolutely necessary question. I know it sounds harsh, but you have to ask it to see the dynamic for what it is. A partnership? That's about two adults meeting in the middle. But a daycare? Well, that's when one person is constantly managing the needs of someone who either can't or just won't. Okay, so if that's the problem, what are we aiming for? What's the goal? It all comes down to this really simple but incredibly powerful idea: mutual effort. But what does that actually look like day to day? The two words that just jump out here are shared and reciprocal. Look, it's not about keeping a perfect 50-50 scorecard all the time. Life doesn't work that way. But it is about both people consistently showing up, investing their energy, and taking action to keep the relationship moving forward. And I love how this slide breaks effort down because it's not just one thing, right? You've got emotional effort, like, are they really there for you when you're having a bad day? There's practical effort. Are they helping plan things or doing the dishes without being asked a dozen times? And then there's social effort. Are they actually bringing you into their world with their friends and family? A healthy relationship, it means all three. This is such a brilliant way to think about it. You can be the most skilled player in the world. You can be mashing all the buttons, doing all the right moves. But if the other person literally just puts their controller down and walks away, you can't win. The game is over. It just stops.
And that brings us to the real emotional core of all of this, the turning point. That's that sudden and, yeah, sometimes really painful moment where you look down and realize that other controller has been on the floor for a very, very long time.
This question, wow, it cuts right to the heart of it, doesn't it? It's that feeling when just being by yourself feels more peaceful, more energizing than the sheer exhaustion of trying to connect with someone who's checked out. When being with them feels like a job and being alone feels like a vacation, that's a huge, huge sign. What a metaphor. I mean, you can just picture it. You've been hauling all this weight, all these bags, thinking you're stocking a home for the two of you, and then you have this sudden realization that you're carrying the load for someone who isn't even really living there with you. And listen, this is so important. That moment of pain, that realization, it's not a sign that you failed. It's a sign of your awareness. It's the moment you wake up and start choosing yourself. And that is always, always the first step toward finding a love that's actually healthy. Okay, so you've had the big realization. Now what? You can't just sit in that feeling forever. It's time for action. So let's get into how you can actually start to address this imbalance and really truly start sharing the load. Here's a simple but super powerful game plan. First, you have to talk about it, and this is key, you have to do it in a way that's about your feelings, not their flaws. Second, you just watch. Do their actions actually change, or are you just getting a bunch of empty promises? And finally, based on what you see, you have to make a decision. Oh, this slide is pure gold. Just look at the difference. The one on the left, you never do anything, that's an attack. It's going to put anyone on the defensive immediately. But the one on the right, I feel alone. That's a vulnerable, honest statement about your experience. It invites them to solve the problem with you instead of starting a fight. It's a game changer. All right, let's bring it all home. We've gone through the problem, what the goal looks like, and a path to get there. So what is the biggest, most important thing to walk away with from all of this? This is just perfect. We've all had that person in a group project, right? The one who does nothing and still gets the good grade. It's infuriating in school, and it is absolutely soul-crushing in a relationship. Both people have to show up and do the work to get the reward of a great partnership. Exactly. That's it in a nutshell. You could have the most incredible voice in the world, but a duet needs two voices singing together. A solo performance, by its very nature, is a lonely one. And that is the ultimate truth right there. That moment of realization is your permission slip to stop settling. It's you finally fully understanding your own worth and demanding a partner who sees it too. You don't deserve half-hearted effort. You deserve the whole thing.
So I'll just leave you with this question to think about. Take a second and really picture it. If you decided today to stop settling for half love, what would that whole thing actually look like and feel like for you? Because defining it, that's the first step to going out and getting it.